Everything gets done around here. Every bike that needs to get built gets done. Everybody's working at all times. And you know what? 10 years.
These were the stories of the legendary builders, visionaries, and unforgettable characters of American Chopper. Each person, each build, each moment of triumph or heartbreak left a mark on the world of motorcycles and reality TV. From epic creations to personal struggles, their legacy lives on in every custom bike and in the hearts of fans around the world. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of American Chopper, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from the people who made history one chopper at a time. Christopher D'Olier-Reeve. Christopher D'Olier-Reeve was an American actor, director, author, and activist, celebrated for both his films and his powerful advocacy. His journey with horse riding began in 1985, while preparing for the film Anna Karenina, and over the years, it became a beloved part of his life. From the 1980s onward, he also spoke passionately about environmental causes, human rights, and artistic freedom.
A little bit, because I had so many privileges. I've got financial resources and the best help.
In 1995, tragedy struck when he was thrown from a horse during an equestrian event in Culpeper, Virginia, leaving him paralyzed from the neck down. From that moment, Reeve relied on a wheelchair and a ventilator, yet he became an even stronger advocate. He championed research into spinal cord injuries, including human embryonic stem cell studies, and worked tirelessly for better insurance coverage for people with disabilities. His mission took shape through the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, which he led, and the Reeve Irvine Research Center, which he co-founded. Years later, his legacy inspired a unique project with the Orange County Choppers team. Paul Teutul Sr. and his crew created a custom wheelchair-accessible motorcycle to raise funds for the foundation, an achievement never seen before. This special bike was a trike, designed so a person with paraplegia could ride without leaving their wheelchair. The episode showcasing the Reeve Foundation and the Life Rolls On bike aired on TLC on January 7. Peter T. Wilderotter, the foundation's president and CEO, revealed that he had approached Orange County Choppers earlier in the year, and the team went above and beyond in design and craftsmanship. Paul Teutul Sr. explained that the bike represented freedom and independence for people living with paralysis. Building it was the greatest challenge his team had ever faced, but also an honor. The project took about 8 weeks and was unveiled at the Reeve Foundation's annual gala, a magical evening in New York. The design allowed riders to operate the bike independently, featuring a 5-speed hand-controlled transmission with reverse, a built-in electric ramp for easy wheelchair placement, and the ability to reach speeds of up to 110 miles per hour. Paul Teutul Sr. Paul Teutul Sr., the mustached founder of Orange County Choppers, always looked tough on TV, but behind the scenes, life was far tougher. Born in Yonkers, New York in 1949, he served in the Merchant Marines during the Vietnam War before returning home to start a small welding business. He began with just a truck and hard work, eventually growing the business to 70 employees. Motorcycles were always his passion, inspired by the movie Easy Rider. And in 1999, he turned that passion into Orange County Choppers.
You don't abide by your contract, so we're
The big break came in 2002 when American Chopper aired on Discovery Channel. Millions watched as Paul Sr. and his son Paul Jr. built custom bikes, argued, and somehow created stunning projects. The show became a huge hit, making Paul Sr. a household name. But the business wasn't as smooth as it seemed. Paul Sr. expanded too quickly, building a massive headquarters in Newburgh with showroom, cafe, and even a bowling alley. The expenses soon outweighed the income. In 2017, investor Thomas Derbyshire sued him over a $1.8 million investment. By 2018, Paul Sr. filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy, showing debts of over $1 million and assets under $2 million. He was earning about $15,000 a month, but spending nearly all of it to stay afloat. Instead of giving up, Paul Sr. took control of the situation. In 2019, he sold property and personal items to pay back creditors in full. Then, in 2021, he moved to Florida and opened the OCC Roadhouse and Museum with partner Keith Overton, a combined restaurant, museum, and concert venue. The Roadhouse showed that Orange County choppers still had influence, offering fans a full experience beyond bikes. Meanwhile, American Chopper returned in 2018 for another season, focusing on Paul Sr. and Paul Jr., rebuilding both their business and their relationship. Today, Paul Sr. isn't living the flashy lifestyle of his past. His net worth is around $500,000, far from the multi-million-dollar empire he once commanded. Still, he keeps building, still stands strong, and continues life his way, alongside longtime partner Joan Bulger Kay. Despite ups and downs with Paul Jr., he maintains close relationships with his other children, especially daughter Kristen, a pediatric nurse in New York. Helen Teutul. Some of the most emotional moments on American Chopper didn't happen in the workshop or during bike builds, but in real life, when the cameras caught glimpses of deep personal loss. One such moment came while Paul Jr. and Paul Sr. were still locked in one of their longest and most bitter fights.
You know what? Get the fuck out of here!
The tension between father and son had been building throughout a full season of American Chopper, Senior versus Junior, and it seemed nothing could bring them back together. Then came the news that shook everything: the passing of Helen Teutul, Paul Sr.'s mother and Paul Jr.'s grandmother. She passed away in December 2011 at the age of 93. Though Helen wasn't often on screen, she had always been the heart of the Teutul family, the strong figure keeping everyone united. Upon hearing the news, Paul Jr. set aside his anger and pain and called his father to offer condolences. He reminded Paul Sr. that Helen had loved him deeply and expressed his own sorrow for the loss. For Paul Sr., the grief of losing his mother mixed with the strain of being estranged from his son. He admitted he wished he could have spoken to Paul Jr. in person rather than over the phone, but the call made him reflect on whether it was time to bridge the gap between them. It was a rare moment when tragedy brought a spark of connection into a relationship that had been distant for so long, reminding viewers that behind the bikes and heated arguments, the cast members faced real heartbreak just like anyone else. Helen's passing was only one of several tragic moments linked to the American Chopper family. As we explore the remaining 5 cast members and their stories, it becomes clear how many lives were touched by grief and hardship, in ways far more profound than the show's most dramatic bike builds. Paul Teutul Sr. Paul Teutul Sr. was born on October 2, 1974, in Montgomery, New York. Most people know him from American Chopper.
It doesn't really feel strange. It's only been, I don't know, what, a month?
The show that made custom motorcycles a part of American pop culture. Behind the fame and flashy bikes, however, was a long, painful battle with his father, legal fights, and personal struggles. Paul Jr. started young. At just 12, he learned to work with steel at his father's company, Orange County Iron Works. By 1999, he and his father launched Orange County Choppers. His designs, like the Fire Bike and Black Widow, turned heads, and millions watched the family tension unfold on TV. In 2009, the tension exploded. Senior fired his son on camera over money disputes, as Junior owned 20% of the company, and accused his father of using OCC's funds for personal luxuries. Lawsuits followed, and part of the settlement forced Junior to stop designing bikes temporarily. Refusing to give up, Paul Jr. opened Paul Jr. Designs on April 1, 2010 with 7 employees. His first project wasn't a bike, it was a dog park, showing he could build beyond motorcycles. Later projects included redesigning a Coleman grill, tribute bikes from World Trade Center steel, and utility-themed bikes. By 2024, PJD had created 47 custom bikes for clients like Geico, Cadillac, and the U.S. military, with prices ranging from $150,000 to $500,000. He returned to TV in 2012 with American Chopper, Senior versus Junior, where old tensions occasionally resurfaced. Personal struggles were also real. During the OCC days, he leaned on painkillers to meet extreme deadlines. Marriage in 2010 and becoming a Christian helped him turn his life around. Fatherhood brought new purpose, and his son Hudson, born in 2015, inspired him to support mental health and veterans charities. Business thrived. PJD launched an apparel line making over $2 million in 2024, and his podcast attracted 250,000 listeners each month. Despite the success, the relationship with his father remained complicated. In a 2024 interview, Junior admitted they still hadn't fully reconciled, though he credited his father for teaching him grit. David Mann. David Mann was born on September 10, 1940 in California, and passed away just one day after his 64th birthday, on September 11, 2004. Known as the biker world's artist in residence, Mann captured biker culture and choppers like no one else. His paintings weren't just for looking, they became a living part of biker life.
It just always fascinated me, and I started doing little sketches and paintings.
His art adorned motorcycle clubhouses, gas tanks, tattoos, t-shirts, and even garages. Over more than 30 years, Mann developed a signature style. One common theme showed a motorcycle and rider alongside another figure that either matched or contrasted with them. The simplest and most famous version depicted two bikes riding side by side, but he explored many creative variations. The first variation paired a biker with a kindred figure, a trucker, a free-spirited character, or even a mythical or historical figure like a medieval knight, Wild West gunfighter, or trapper. Often their clothing or facial features mirrored the biker to highlight the connection across time. The second variation explored conflict. The biker might be paired with an opponent, such as bumbling police officers, uptight motorists, or a wealthy upper-class figure, sometimes annoyed because of a family member. The third variation often included a female figure, supernatural, protective, a passenger, or observing from afar. Some works even portrayed women riding motorcycles themselves, like two women riding trikes at night, or the historic Devil Dolls Motorcycle Club, the first all-female outlaw biker club in the U.S., with the Golden Gate Bridge behind them. Not all depictions were empowering. One painting showed a frightened woman losing control and being thrown off her bike. Mann's life ended just as a significant tribute was being made. Orange County Choppers began building a custom bike in his honor for American Chopper, called the David Mann Bike. It was decorated with his signature artwork. Sadly, Mann passed before the bike was completed, so the finished chopper became a memorial to him. The episode of the show featuring it was dedicated entirely to his memory. His family planned to place his ashes inside the gas tank of a Harley Sportster XLCH, painted in his trademark David Mann Red. He was survived by his wife Jackie, son Jamie, stepdaughter Tracy, and stepson Tim. Since 2004, his legacy has lived on each year at the David Mann Chopper Fest in Ventura, California, celebrating his style and the spirit he brought to biker art. While Mann's story was deeply tied to biker culture, the next cast member on our list comes from a completely different reality TV world. Michael "Mikey" Teutul. Michael "Mikey" Teutul grew up around metal and motorcycles. Born on November 26, 1978 in Suffern, New York, he started at his father Paul Teutul Sr.'s ironworks at just 14.
I think it would help my chances of having more of a relationship with Dad in the future, and I think it's just sort of time to move on.
Doing simple tasks like answering phones and taking out the trash. When Orange County Choppers expanded into custom motorcycles, everything changed. American Chopper hit TV in 2003. showing the wild arguments between Paul Sr. and Paul Jr. Mikey, became the easygoing, funny brother fans loved. Though behind the jokes, he quietly sought his father's approval. At its peak, OCC had become a $30 million business. Mikey helped on some bike builds, even creating his own in Season 3. But compared to Paul Jr., he often felt like an outsider. Producers emphasized this, portraying him as the lovable loser, which made viewers root for him. Life off camera was tough. Mikey battled alcohol addiction and entered rehab in December 2009, a step shown on the show. After leaving OCC, he reinvented himself. In 2010, he opened Wolfgang Gallery in Montgomery, New York, focusing on abstract painting. Over time, it became a community space for local artists, though it quietly closed by 2025. Mikey also launched Michelangelo LLC, selling t-shirts, posters, and a pasta sauce brand called Far Q Products. He even formed a children's music band, Michelangelo, which ran until 2016. Sobriety and recovery became central to his life. In a 2025 podcast,
The fact that I know that there won't be any interest in Dad talking to me for the sake of a camera being there or something like that.
he shared how shaving his beard symbolized a fresh start. Mikey also worked with rehab centers, using his experiences to help others. Fame and public scrutiny, however, took a toll on his mental health. A 2024 documentary revealed his long struggles with anxiety and depression. Family tensions continued. In 2015, his father accused him of wasting opportunities. But by 2020, Mikey and Paul Jr. collaborated on a dog park in Montgomery, showing that family ties could survive past conflicts. Mikey kept creating. In 2024, he showcased work at the Dallas Art Fair, and his 2025 show, River Songs, focused on addiction and recovery, donating part of the profits to rehab charities. Arlen Ness. When we think about the legacy of American Chopper, it's not just about the builders on screen. It's also about the legends who shaped the way motorcycles were built. One such legend was Arlen Ness.
It's supposed to resemble an antique Harley, only with modern stuff on it.
A groundbreaking motorcycle visionary who passed away on March 22, 2019, at the age of 79. Arlen didn't start as a famous builder. He began making bikes in his garage in San Leandro, California, before opening a shop on East 14th Street in the early 1970s. His bold designs and custom paint jobs quickly stood out. Soon, his bikes were featured in magazines and displayed in shows, cementing his reputation as a true innovator in motorcycle culture. Over the decades, Arlen's one-man operation grew into a massive 72,000-square-foot dealership and workshop in Dublin, California. The space included a museum with more than 40 of his custom bikes, each unique and creative. Riders could see everything from his jet-powered Mach Ness to the Ferrari-inspired twin-motor Two-Bad, the nostalgic Nestique, and even the Top Banana from Discovery Channel's Biker Build-Off. But Arlen didn't stop at bikes. He created a complete lifestyle brand, offering riding gear, clothing, and performance parts for Harley-Davidsons and Indian motorcycles. His passing was announced on Facebook as the loss of a visionary, loving husband, father, grandfather, and leader of our family. Orange County Choppers honored him on Twitter, calling him a true legend, always way ahead of the times, showing how deeply he was respected in the industry. American Chopper itself wasn't just a show about building motorcycles. It was the reality of a family, their friends, and the struggles of running a busy custom shop. The series debuted on March 2, 2003 on Discovery Channel, following Paul Teutul Sr. and his son Paul Teutul Jr. as they built custom choppers at Orange County Choppers in Newburgh, New York. Their clashes and different work styles became a major focus of the show, culminating in a huge fight in 2008.
It's like, wait a second. Wait a minute. You come in at 7:45.
when Paul Jr. was fired and later launched his own company, Paul Jr. Designs, becoming a direct rival to his father. The show grew even more popular over time. In December 2007, it moved to TLC with an 18-hour marathon. The first TLC season aired in January 2008, followed by Season 6 in April 2009. TLC canceled the series in February 2010, but a few months later, they announced a spin-off, American Chopper, Sr. vs. Jr., documenting the two shops competing across the street from each other. The spin-off eventually moved back to Discovery Channel, continuing the story of family tension, creative rivalry, and the passion behind building some of the most iconic motorcycles on TV. In Canada, it aired starting January 8th on TLC, later moving to Saturday nights at 10 p.m. The series ran until December 11, 2012, concluding with The Chopper Live, The Revenge, and closing a 10-year chapter of American Chopper history. So, when we look back on American Chopper, the question isn't just about the bikes. They were incredible, but also about the people who built them, leaving a piece of themselves in every frame and every custom build. Legends like Arlen Ness remind us that innovation, passion, and artistry are at the heart of the chopper world. Cody Connolly. Cody Connolly was one of the younger faces that fans quickly grew to love on American Chopper. A talented motorcycle builder, he started working at Orange County Choppers, the shop featured on the hit TV series. From the beginning, Cody showed remarkable skill and dedication, earning the respect of his teammates and becoming a familiar face to viewers. Fans watched him grow in the craft while working alongside some of the show's most prominent personalities, learning the ropes of custom motorcycle building in a high-pressure, high-drama environment. However, Cody's journey took an unexpected turn when he decided to leave Orange County Choppers and join V-Force Customs, a custom motorcycle shop in Rock Tavern, New York, run by his friend and former OCC co-worker Vincent DiMartino. Even after leaving OCC, Cody did not completely disappear from the screen. He appeared several times on the spin-off American Chopper, Sr. vs. Jr., often assisting Paul Teutul Sr. and DiMartino at Paul Jr. Designs. Despite these appearances, the reality behind the scenes was not as smooth as it looked on television. After leaving OCC in 2007, Cody filed a lawsuit against Orange County Choppers and Paul Teutul Sr., claiming that they had used his image without his permission. He stated that his likeness continued to appear on posters, coloring books, and other merchandise even after he was no longer part of the show. Additionally, he claimed that he never received an old-school chopper that he had helped design, despite an episode showing Paul Sr. presenting it to him. This legal dispute highlighted that, while the show entertained millions of viewers, not every relationship within the cast ended on a positive note. For Cody, what began as a dream job turned into a frustrating and painful experience. Although his story didn't end in tragedy, like some of the other cast members, it serves as a reminder that fame and creative work can sometimes lead to bitter conflicts. It also makes viewers wonder about the experiences of those who left the spotlight under even more challenging circumstances, and how life continued for them after the cameras stopped rolling. Philip Charles. Philip Charles Harris was born on December 19, 1956, and passed away on February 9, 2010. He was an American crab fishing captain and also part owner of the vessel FV Cornelia Marie, which became well known because it was featured on the Discovery Channel's documentary reality series Deadliest Catch. From 2004 until the day he passed, Phil Harris and his boat were closely followed by a film crew for the show.
Not a greenhorn, I'm just new back. Just green. Yeah.
The Cornelia Marie first appeared during the Opilio crab fishing part of Season 1, working alongside the FV Maverick as a partner boat. During that time, the Cornelia Marie played a significant role in searching for the FV Big Valley after its sank. Because of this, and the crew's personality, the boat became a regular part of the show starting from the second season. As much as this reality show was televised, things were not always easy for Harris. During a storm in the 2008 season, he was thrown out of his bunk and at first thought he had broken his ribs. For hours, he coughed up blood while continuing to work, until his sons and crew insisted he get help. They even got the film crew to keep an eye on him so they could track his condition. Doctors later found that he had suffered a pulmonary embolism, which is a dangerous blockage in the lungs. Treating it meant he could not fish for almost a year, but returned for the Opilio crab season in January 2009. However, in January 2010, while offloading Opilio crab at St. Paul Island in Alaska during the 6th season of the show, Harris suffered a severe stroke. This happened on January 29, and he was quickly flown to Anchorage for surgery. The doctors put him in an induced coma to control swelling and pressure in his brain. Not long after, he woke up and began squeezing people's hands, talking, and showing clear signs of improvement. His recovery at first amazed the doctors because he was making progress in just days that would typically take stroke patients months. Sadly, his condition took a turn for the worse, and on February 9, 2010, Phil Harris passed away from an intracranial hemorrhage, which is bleeding inside the brain. After his demise, his memory was honored specially. In an episode of American Chopper, Senior vs. Junior, Orange County Choppers built a custom memorial motorcycle in honor of him and other fishermen. The episode showed the entire process of designing and building the bike, including a trip to Alaska to meet the Hillstrand brothers from Deadliest Catch and to go crab fishing with them. This brought together two well-known TV crews, the Orange County Choppers team and the Deadliest Catch fishermen, giving fans a rare mix of both worlds. To understand why Phil Harris and the show meant so much to people, you must know a bit about Deadliest Catch. Crab fishing in Alaska is often called the most dangerous job in the world, and this is not an exaggeration. The risk of dying is exceptionally high, and the chance of injury is almost guaranteed. The show follows several captains and their crews, such as Sig Hansen of the Northwestern, considered one of the most respected leaders in the fleet, and the Hillstrand brothers, who run the Time Bandit and are known for mixing hard work with fun on deck. Phil's sons, Jake and Josh Harris, also became part of the story. After their father's demise, they faced difficult times trying to adjust under the leadership of a new captain on the Cornelia Marie, which made their journey on the show even more emotional for viewers. Vinny DiMartino. When we look back at American Chopper, some of the most memorable moments aren't just about the bikes. They're about the people who came and went, often leaving fans talking for years. One of those people is Vinny DiMartino.
I got 4 young kids, and my son Vincent's always ripping on his ripstick, or his rollerblades, or his unicycle.
For a long time, fans debated online why he chose to leave Orange County Choppers. Vinny explained his decision on the V-Force Customs website, FAQ. He said he had reached as far as he could at OCC and felt there was no room left to grow. Owning his own shop had always been a dream, so stepping away seemed like the natural next step. He clarified that nothing against the team was personal. It was just time to move on. When the show finally covered his departure, the episode dedicated only about 4 minutes to it. In the footage, Paul Teutul Sr. was shown saying, "Everyone's replaceable," but Paul later clarified that what aired was only part of a longer statement. Orange County Choppers also noted that they had no control over how the footage was edited, meaning what viewers saw wasn't necessarily the whole conversation. Considering how editing can shape how moments are remembered, it's hard not to wonder how many behind-the-scenes stories we never truly got to see. For cast members like Vinny, whose journeys ended sooner than fans expected, knowing the full story might have changed the way fans remember them. When American Chopper ended, the legendary bike-building family went their separate ways. The father lost his millions, filed for bankruptcy, and started over in Florida. His son launched his own successful design company, but barely speaks to his dad. The younger brother battled addiction and reinvented himself as a painter. Others found their own paths too, one making knives, another fixing cars, and another restoring vintage motorcycles. The fights were real, the fallout was worse. This is the story of what happened after the last chopper was built.